everybody. Welcome back. It's, of course, Sport Federation TV, where we carry on talking about sport in the province. You remember that last week we spoke about chess. Ruben Salimu is the head of high-performance coaching at Western Cape Chess. And we had such a fantastic conversation last week about chess and the fact that they've been really building their coaching structures, moving online coaching from 20 coaches to 140 coaches now practicing online and working from a high-performance coaching perspective in the Western Cape. Anyway, we had to get Ruben back on the line because we've got a number of other components that we have to talk about chess in the Western Cape. Ruben, welcome back.
Thank you for welcoming me back. I'm happy to share the information that we have.
Ruben, yes, I mean, last week was fascinating when we found out about chess and just how much development you guys have done and how many coaches you've managed to bring, let's say, up to speed or convert them from being normal coaches that were coaching really one-on-one, I suppose, before COVID, and that you've migrated coaches to online coaches going. I mean, what would be the difference? Let's just touch on that for the folks who missed out last week. Would there be any difference in the type of coach, or is it simply now a question of it's online?
Well, like in person, the thing we've always valued is that personal touch. You can see the person in front of you, and online you would slightly lose that. But then there were certain things we had not thought about, which you benefit from online coaching. And one of them was the ability to just have a copy of the session afterwards, so that not only for the student, but that the coach can review and see areas where they might need improvement and so on, or critique from a senior coach, or areas where they needed improvement, and also the saving of time. So it means the coach doesn't have to travel to the student, student doesn't have to travel to the coach, and immediately the session has got more attention. So there was some other conveniences that we gained from the process, and overall we found out that once the students were into it and it became the new normal, coaching was normal coaching as usual.
Ruben, let's talk a little bit about development from a chess perspective. If somebody is out there watching the show right now and they are maybe a social chess player, or maybe even someone who's never played chess before, is there a place for those type of individuals that are watching the show right now who want to get started, whether they're, like I say, a novice or have never played before? Can someone at Western Cape Chess help them?
Absolutely. The Western Cape has got the most clubs in the country. I think we've got the biggest league on the continent. So anyone wants to play, the easiest would be to Google the nearest club to them. And that would be a good place to start, because social clubs are the best for a beginner. You learn from what other people are doing and saying, and you get to test yourself against them too. And once you get into that circle, it's easy for you to get information also on what to do next, because the club obviously participates in other things, and there's always a club close to where you are.
I just keep thinking that when you walk down to your local shop, there's in the toy section there's a chess board there, and when you go to the garage, even sometimes there's a little chessboard there, and we see these chessboards everywhere, but many people out there probably looking and going, oh, there's a chessboard, but I've never played chess before, I'd like to try this. But of course, you don't really pick up a chessboard and get the instructions with it that says this is how you play the game. Chess is a little bit more complicated, and I would like to think that, well, people just simply need to Google you, find you, and then there they go, off they go. And isn't it fantastic that today, if you were to buy that little toy chess set at the garage, you could just jump online for your instructions?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's so many resources to learn chess. And one of the things which we did, I think a few years back, was we got this publication, Learn Chess in 30 Minutes. It's really simple. The real barrier to chess is people's conception of what chess is, not necessarily chess itself.
Yeah.
You get sometimes, 8-year-olds learning to play, and it takes 30 minutes, and they know exactly how to play, and they enjoy it. The biggest challenge in chess is not learning how to play. It's much more becoming a master. That's where there is a bit of hard work and energy you need to put in. But otherwise, to learn will take you like 30 minutes.
Ruben, though, The development of chess, the growth of the game is quite a challenge, is quite difficult for any sport. You guys have had tremendous success at growing the game, but you're taking it a step further. You're making sure that rural chess development is also growing.
No, of course. So when we started, one thing which we were aware of when we started having to work online was that this was not an ultimate solution for everyone. So we started thinking about how would we do it so that we could reach everyone. And rural program was something that we needed to fine tune and test and see if it would work. And eventually I think by around August, we already had a clear plan of what we needed to do in order to reach all those kids, because the Western Cape has got a lot of talent, and some of them never realize that full potential because they live somewhere in the sticks somewhere and no one ever gets there to teach them. But then the advent of online coaching also brought about an opportunity where if we can find a center where all the kids who had shown promise, according to our scouts and coaches in those areas, we could take them over a weekend. We could put all our expert high performance coaches on a program where they could train this kid over a short period, and then they would go away and implement and practice on the things that we'd given them, and they would come back. So over a series of workshops, over a few months, we could raise the level of players in areas which were, before this inaccessible to us, without having to, travel and stay there, whatever it is.
One of your biggest districts that have had, or one of your districts that has had a tremendous amount of success in the growth of chess has been the West Coast. Can you give us a little bit more information on what that means? How did you grow chess in the West Coast, and who has managed to benefit from it? Because certainly I think it's helpful for our audience to understand the practical example of what you mean by rural development.
Yeah, so it was fun. We went to a tournament, and I met the team from the West Coast, and these guys were very driven to get things happening in their area. So what we did was they set up a workshop there, like a physical workshop, where we targeted all the youths and juniors who had finished, who had gone out of the system basically, and the union took them through a high-performance training program over a weekend, and they became coaches. So as soon as they had coaches, it meant that their reach was much more broader than it was before, because each coach could take a number of schools or a number of kids and do or carry out the training which they'd been taught. In fact, do it the right way from the start. And that actually created a blueprint which we are now using to expand into other regions.
There's an old expression of 1 speaks to 9 speaks to 90. Is that not maybe the solution for other sports as well? Is that if you want to grow sport, you need to grow your coaching structures?
Absolutely. And it's like one of those things where a teacher reaches more people over time, year after year, and it keeps going. Your teacher at school probably taught, like 100 classes of grade 1s, and those people went through their hands. And a coach is more than just a technical person. It's an opportunity for a kid to really find himself in so many aspects of life. So investing in training in any organization ensures future growth, absolutely, without a doubt. So if you think of sport, investing in training and investing in clubs is the way to go. Once you've got a club with trained personnel, that sport is going to just jump.
I love that. I love the fact that it also allows the opportunity for players to become coaches, and that allows for a longer retention, because many athletes will drop out when they stop competing. But when you're able to keep them in the administrative or in the coaching structure, they stay part of your structure, and that's fantastic.
Yes, no, absolutely. And this is where this also, any sport to really grow has to be pumped at the entry level. And this is where this raw program really comes in, because we've really not really harnessed that energy. And there is a lot of talent out there. And once we had coaches which could identify talent, we just realized this was the next natural progression.
Ruben, we'll leave it at that, and we will, of course, look forward to catching up with you again soon. Well done on building the coaching structures. Well done on the rural development programs and all the athletes that have signed up, and we'll chat again soon.
No, thank you so much.
There we go, folks. Ruben Salimu is, of course, high performance head of high performance and coaching at Western Cape Chess. If you want to find out more, just go and Google Western Cape Chess on Facebook. The guys are doing an incredible job. And that's where you want to be. If you're a social chess player, or in fact, if you've never played chess before, somebody at chess will help you out. Get involved. It's online now, especially during this COVID time where people want to be engaged, want to stay connected. Find yourself an online chess coach, and just like I said, just do a Facebook search there for Western Cape Chess. Folks, when we come back from the break, we carry on talking about sport in the province. Back in a sec.